All right, welcome to the show, y'all. I regret to inform you that we still live in hell. We indeed do. So in just a second, Trump is demanding that anti-war protesters be arrested and jailed. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. We also have the details of the official loyalty test that is being given to people who work in the administration. We have some of the specifics, and it's a very, very disturbing thing to see, so we'll talk about that. We also have some bad news when it comes to the health of the country, because vaccine rates are absolutely plummeting off a cliff, and that means that it's now forecasted that we're going to get hit with mass disease and new pandemics, even from old illnesses and viruses that, we thought basically we had moved beyond. So we have that to look forward to. That's great. Then we'll get to Fox News host Greg Gutfeld absolutely losing it and lashing out and smearing his liberal co-host. That's a wild watch. And don't forget, we also have Venezuela yet again being illegally attacked by the Trump regime. And the good news is, later on, we have this amazing video from More Perfect Union where Bernie is in real time turning MAGA blue in West Virginia. It's really something to see, so we'll talk about that. And you guys know the deal, man. Everybody please do me a big favor and subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you nothing at all. Thank you to everybody who supports the show on Patreon. We could not do it without you. Remember, this is real independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser, never done an ad read, never talked to a billionaire, never talked to a government or a PAC or anything like that. This is real independent media. I'm very proud of what we've built here, but you guys have made that possible by donating $2 a month, $5 a month, $7 a month. So if you'd like to help out the show, you can. That link is below. You can also tip with the thanks button on YouTube if you're so inclined. You can support Crystal, Kyle, and Friends on Substack as well. That's below. Definitely do that. We got some amazing interviews coming up. And Corrin's World. You guys definitely want to go sub to Corrin's World because we do live Kyle and Corrin's there every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when we try to do them. So you don't want to miss that. All right, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm sure you guys remember, it was not that long ago. What was it, like a week or two ago? That Trump went out for dinner in D.C., and the whole point of this was for him to sort of pretend to brag about how, look how safe the streets are now. Meanwhile, and he's trying to give himself credit for that. He's trying to say, oh, it's because I decided to deploy the fucking military. That's why it's so safe. Meanwhile, you had crime was down like 30% before he even did that. So this is just him being a douchebag and taking credit for something he deserves no credit for. If anything, that was just wildly, disgusting and an overreach of federal authority for him to do what he did. But this is him doing his little victory lap. So he goes out to this place. I think it's called Joe's Seafood in D.C. It's actually close to our old apartment. This is close to where we were. We were we were right near the White House for quite a while. So it was kind of crazy just, living that close to the White House for, an extended period of time. But here's the video of Trump was protested when he went to this place. And I believe it was Code Pink anti-war protesters who were there. And they had quite a chant that they were able to deliver literally right in Trump's face. Listen to this.
Let the communities all over the world, from Puerto Rico to the Philippines, to Venezuela. He is terrorizing communities. He is not welcome to D.C. He's not welcome to Palestine. Palestine is not for sale. Free D.C., free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time.
The chant was free D.C., free Palestine. Trump is the Hitler of our time. And they were, basically like 10 feet away from the president for a little bit there. And eventually they were removed, but they had a little bit of time where they were about 10 feet away from the president. And, you could sort of see it on his face, too, that he was pretty fucking triggered by this. He did not like this. He's used to being surrounded by yes men who coddle his nutsack all day. That's what he's used to. Somebody taking baby powder and powdering his bottom, right, and telling him he's special. That's what he's used to. That's why he surrounded himself with loyalists. So here he goes into the real world, for literally an hour to have dinner. And the second he steps out of the SUV, first of all, you got protesters on the street screaming at him, calling him a piece of shit. Then he goes inside and you got people, calling him the Hitler of our time and saying free Palestine. And so this got under his skin, right? And so listen to this. In typical Trump fashion, he can't help himself. He can't just hold an L. So he escalates and makes himself look like a total jackass. So look at this. He's in the White House And he says, I think you should arrest the anti-war protesters that came at me the other day. I'm not kidding. Watch.
And a woman, in many cases, women, you can see they're professional agitators. I had one the other night. I had 4 the other night, all in one group. Total phonies.
Total phonies. What does that mean? You don't know anything about these people. God, it's anything to protect his fragile little ego. Like, no, people actually, genuinely, sincerely fucking hate you, bro. Your approval rating is 37%. Every decision you're making is harming this country. Jesus Christ, the fucking self-protection mechanisms he has built into his brain are unbelievable.
Started to scream when I got into a restaurant, something with Palestine.
Oh, yeah, and calling you Hitler of our time. Don't forget that one.
I said, well, I'm doing a great job for peace in the Middle East. I should get lots of awards for that, right?
As he's arming a genocide, funding a genocide, literally watching them implement their final solution, literally bragged about wanting to build hotels and casinos on the beach in Gaza after stealing all the land, finishing the genocide, and ethnically cleansing the remaining people and sending them to Libya or somewhere like that. Oh, I should get awards. I should get awards for doing the nicest, kindest, gentlest genocide anybody's ever seen. They're calling it the smoothest, the cleanest genocide.
But a woman just stood up and started screaming. And she got booed out of the place, too. The people...
No, she did. That's a total fucking lie.
A lot of people in the restaurant. I went there to show how safe, and it was safe. I mean, the woman is just a mouthpiece. All she was a paid agitator. And you have a lot of them.
A paid agitator. Who's paying her? Oh, that fucking multi-billion-dollar industry, the anti-war lobby. Yeah, the lobby for the anti-war store is paying all these people to protest. What the fuck are you talking about? These are people with a fucking conscience, unlike you, who don't want to see babies be blown up on a daily basis in front of their faces on social media.
And I've asked Pam to look into that in terms of RICO, bringing RICO cases against the criminal RICO, because they should be put in jail. What they're doing to this country is really subversive.
He just said he's looking into charging the pro-peace protesters, the anti-war protesters, with a criminal RICO charge for chanting in front of him. No, I'm sorry. We have never in our lives seen anybody more hostile to free speech than this bloated war criminal buffoon. That is the definition of First Amendment protected speech. I'm not harming anybody. I'm not being violent. I'm not swinging. I'm not shooting. I'm using my words and saying, I disagree with this, right? I'm against free Palestine. I'm against the genocide in Israel. You're the Hitler of our time. Why do you keep bombing people? Why do you keep bombing Venezuela? Right? And you want to hit them with a fucking RICO charge? No, okay, I'm sorry. You guys know that this is the biggest pet peeve of mine, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Any fucking bullshit right-wing commentator or fake left-wing commentator who pretended that Trump is the pro-free speech candidate or the anti-war candidate, you truly need to shut the fuck up forever. I never want to hear from you ever again about anything. Because you were so wrong and all the evidence was already there, and now he's put this bitch on steroids, dog. A RICO case against peaceful protesters who were chanting. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. So Code Pink, he wants to lock up Code Pink. Now, at the same time this is going on, J.D. Vance was giving a speech, and he said on Trump's strikes on Venezuelan boats, and by the way, I'm going to do a separate segment on this in a little bit, but yes, they illegally attacked another Venezuelan boat. That's what they did. Totally illegal, totally unconstitutional. There's no declaration of war. There's no threat, no nothing. And they're blowing up these boats. So J.D. Vance is joking around, and he comments on that, and he says, I wouldn't go fishing right now in that area of the world. As Aaron here says, get it? The joke is that we might kill some totally innocent people. Ha ha ha. That's funny, right? These people are disgusting. These people are loathsome. These people are fucking freaks. These people have a fucking bloodlust, bro. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. All right, ready? Also, at the same time, this is a quote from Bezalel Smotrich, the finance minister in Israel. Gaza is a real estate bonanza, says Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. We are discussing with the United States how to divide percentages of the land. In other words, yes, we're finishing the genocide, we're finishing the ethnic cleansing, we're stealing all of the land in Gaza, and now a lot of people are ready to spend a lot of money to get that prime real estate. And Israel and the U.S. are deciding, how exactly are we going to divvy up this land that we just illegally stole? after wiping out generations and families and babies and toddlers and innocents and women. Openly talking about this. And let me repeat, Trump wants to charge somebody with a fucking RICO case for chanting Free Palestine, for saying Trump is the Hitler of our time. Well, that's exactly what the fuck you are. You're arming a genocide. You're funding a genocide. You blessed the genocide. You said, go ahead, kill as many as you want. And you're out there, by the way, the other day, what was he doing? Saying, Hamas with their human shields, as they're literally implementing the final solution. Worst bombing spree we've seen since the beginning of the genocide. They were hearing it all throughout Israel. It was just one gigantic bomb going off after another in the middle of Gaza City, trying to finish the genocide, finish the ethnic cleansing, blowing up every high-rise building, countless people caught under the rubble, countless children showing up with their fucking intestines falling out at the hospital. And he's saying, oh, if you're against that, I'm going to lock you up. If you're against that, I'm going to hit you with the fucking RICO charge. And I deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. As we literally, in old school imperialist colonialist fashion, divvy up the land that is not ours that we're in the midst of stealing right the fuck now. Could you imagine for a second if Iran or any country fucking nuked the US and then started casually talking about, hey, how are we going to divvy this up? Who wants Ohio? Hey, Palestinians, you want to take Ohio? We're interested more in like Georgia. We like the southern states better. Imagine Iran was talking about this, Lebanon, whoever, Hezbollah, Hamas, fill in the blank with whoever the fuck you want to fill in the blank with. North Korea. North Korea is going to take the New York region, the New England region, the Northeast region, right? That would be, we'd fucking lose our minds. Everybody would say this is insane. These are like comic book villains. These are the most evil people on the planet. They're going to fucking nuke us and steal our land, kill everybody, and then take it. And that's actually what's happening right now in Gaza, minus the nukes. They're just fucking, they're wiping out generations of people. You know, an Israeli general the other day said minimum 200,000 people have been killed. Minimum 200,000 people. Minimum. And here they are, fucking, ha ha ha, tee hee hee. We're going to steal this. So in other words, when Trump posted that AI slop video of him and Netanyahu stealing Gaza, building golden statues to Trump in the middle of Gaza, hotels and casinos on the beach, they're sitting by the pool sipping a margarita, right? He meant it. He meant it. This is what I want to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make it a fucking resort. We're going to make it a resort, and anybody's welcome except Palestinians. We're stealing your land. We're stealing your land. But anybody else is welcome. If you're in the top 1%, they're turning Gaza into a playground for the top 1%. We're witnessing the equivalent of a Holocaust in real time. This is like the fucking Native American genocide in real time. They're going to steal the land and build fucking Disneyland for rich assholes is what they're going to do. It's unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Now, by the way, Trump is not kidding when he says, I want to charge these protesters. Ready? So here's this asshole, went on CNN, and he was openly, casually talking about like, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to charge him with a RICO case.
As you know, RICO has been used to go after like Al-Qaeda, MS-13, the Gambino family. How would something like that protest fall under a RICO charge?
That's not what we use RICO for only. RICO is available to all kinds of
Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, talking about taking very seriously the idea of suing protesters over their free speech because they made the president uncomfortable for 17 seconds.
Organizations committing crimes and committing wrongful acts, not just organized crime or ISIS or terrorist organizations. And so it depends. So is it, again, sheer happenstance that individuals show up at a restaurant where the president is trying to enjoy dinner in Washington, D.C. and accost him with vile words and vile anger, and meanwhile he's simply trying to have dinner? Does it mean it's just completely random that they showed up? Maybe, but to the extent that it's part of an organized effort to inflict harm and terror and damage.
Terror. By the way, it doesn't matter if it was planned with 7 different groups who were in on it, who figured out the schedule, and he's going to this place at this time. It doesn't matter who was involved with it. It is still legal. How can anybody think otherwise? There's no fucking crime here. It's people talking. It's people using their free speech. It's people protesting in what's supposed to be a democracy, a constitutional republic, and a representative democracy. Listen to this guy. This asshole had to go to fucking law school. And here he is, they're spreading terror. Is this terror? Maybe we'll hit him with a RICO.
To the United States, there's potential investigations there. And that's what the president was saying yesterday in the Oval Office, and what he also has said in the days before that as well.
But were those women in the restaurant inflicting harm or terror or damage by protesting the president of the United States? I mean, they were just shouting basically in his vicinity.
I mean, repeat what you just said. I mean, honestly, so you're asking whether there's damage done by 4 individuals screaming and yelling at the president of our United States while he's trying to have dinner.
I'm sorry. We might have to wrap it up, dog. This whole national experiment, it's crashing and burning so fucking hard. I don't recognize this country anymore. I don't. You know, this is what we were taught growing up, is that one of the things that made this country great is that we have a constitution. We're a nation of laws. And one of the things we believe in is freedom of speech. It's the First Amendment, free speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press. And here he is acting like, how dare you? I mean, they were screaming near the president, making it seem like, well, of course, the king can decide to behead the servants if they step out of line and if they're too rude or obnoxious within his presence. Duh. He's acting shocked. He's acting apoplectic at the question, like, how dare you insist it might be okay to protest around the president? Of course it's not. I'm sorry, man. We need new Nuremberg trials. We really do. So many of these people need to be locked up. They need to be charged, arrested, locked up for destroying every principle this country used to hold dear. The fucking rampant corruption that we're seeing, the destruction of freedom of speech, the illegal and offensive wars. I mean, this is out of this world. The fucking concentration camps being set up and blowing off court orders. Look at what we're talking about. The year is 2025, and I'm doing a segment explaining how anti-war protesters who just chanted, that's all they did, Trump is trying to hit him with a RICO charge, and you got the Deputy Attorney General trying to justify and rationalize hitting them with a RICO charge.
That can't be a serious question. That cannot be a serious question. I mean, it's true that there's a difference between shouting and committing an assassination, which is what happened to Charlie. Well, it depends. There's nothing wrong with peaceful protests, and nobody has ever said so.
In the midst of a segment where his whole point is, let's arrest these people and charge them for peaceful protests. There's nothing wrong with peaceful protests, just not this one. Not this one against this president.
Of all the people in this country, President Trump knows exactly what it's like to have people protest against him. But what he's talking about and what the administration is talking about is organized efforts by individuals who are not present at the protests, but they're funding these protests, and they're not protests. They're inflicting damage and harm and actually assaulting officers. They're
What? All of this is made up. By the way, what organization? Bring it up. Name names. You can't do it. It's totally fake. This is alluding to the George Soros conspiracy that somehow George Soros is behind every single liberal or left-wing protest in this country. That's what he's alluding to. And then he just makes up assaulting cops. What are you talking about? We're specifically referring to the incident that happened the other day. Now you're talking about assaulting cops? Look, you can't say I didn't fucking warn you. You could find 1,000 videos from before the election where I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. All these right-wingers who pretend like all they believe in is free speech, that's all they care about. They're supporting a guy who sued over a poll he didn't like. He sued CBS over an interview he didn't like. He sued a book company over a quote he didn't like. He threatens to de-license news agencies all the time. He wants to punish flag burning with a year in jail. He sued CNN for nearly $500 million for accurately calling his election denialism the big lie. Before he was president, he sued Bill Maher for $5 million over a joke. Over a literal joke. He's already arrested pro-Palestine protesters for just being pro-Palestine. Mahmoud Khalil, Rumaisa Ozturk, for example. I mean, this is what we're looking at is an absolute charlatan authoritarian. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. And you're not going to be surprised to learn that the guy who said we should terminate all rules, regulations, and articles in the Constitution is seemingly in the midst of doing exactly that, right in front of our eyes. So everybody better wake up, dog. Everybody better wake up. This is out of this world. So anybody who thought Trump was pro-free speech, tell me how my ass tastes. That's point number one. And anybody who thought Trump was anti-war as well, tell me how my ass tastes. Because this is a guy whose entire record is soaked with the blood of innocents. Over 400% increase in drone strikes, and that was in his first term alone. Kept us in Iraq, kept us in Afghanistan, bombed Syria, stole their oil, bombed Somalia, increased the Pentagon budget every single year, assassinated Qasem Soleimani illegally. Now he wants to invade fucking Mexico. They're making plans on doing that. He's already attacking Venezuela right now. It bombed Iran. That's not done, by the way. I wish it was, but it's not. Dropped the Moab on Afghanistan. Pardoned war criminals, the Blackwater war criminals who did the Nisour Square massacre and killed a bunch of civilians. And you still had people with the nerve to say, he's the free speech guy and he's the anti-war guy. Well, again, where are you now? Every single one of them should be doing a mea culpa that lasts fucking 2 hours, where they grovel at the feet of all of us who were fucking correct. That's what they should all be doing. They should all be calling this out vociferously, saying this is the most thin-skinned shit I've ever seen in my life. Protesters saying free Palestine and calling Trump the Hitler of our time, right? And he wants to sue and charge them with RICO. By the way, that's what he's doing with half his time. The other half his time, he's got his fucking pom-poms out and he's cheerleading Netanyahu as he finishes the final solution in Gaza right in front of our face. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.